Hello everyone, my name is Charis and my senior honors project is titled Creating a Portfolio for the Advertising Industry. My major is Communications with a concentration in advertising, and my faculty mentor for the project is Dr. Robert Meads. To start off, why did I create an advertising portfolio? I want to pursue a career in the field of creative advertising with a job as a copywriter or creative director. To get these jobs, you have to stand out to employers and show your creative skills, and this usually means submitting a portfolio along with your resume. For example, I looked at a couple different job applications for some places I was interested in working at, and under qualifications, they both listed portfolio. So this copywriting internship at Enotion USA asked for a portfolio that demonstrates a range of tone, character, scenes, and storytelling. And this creative director position at Creative Circle asked for a portfolio demonstrating expertise in web, print, and digital design. So these are the key points that I kept in mind while creating my portfolio. So I used Adobe InDesign to create an interactive PDF. And if you don't know what a PDF is, it stands for Portable Document Format. And when you're applying for a job, it's a common file type that you will submit a portfolio in. So my PDF showcases 5 of my best advertising projects, which were a combination of things I did at work and for class assignments. I'm going to walk through the different steps I took to create this PDF. Step 1 was choosing which projects to feature in the portfolio. I had so many projects that I had created during my 4 years at Cal State Fullerton, and it was tempting to show off every single one. But this would cause my portfolio to become too long, and this could make it unappealing for employers to flip through. So I chose 5 of my best projects. The first project I chose is a print ad campaign for the e.l.f. makeup brand. These are ads that you would find in a magazine, newspaper, or through direct mail. This project showed off a variety of skills, from copywriting to graphic design to creative thinking. I also showed my ability to do a range of tone, which was a key point in the job qualifications I looked at earlier. Most of my projects are usually lighthearted and humorous, so with this campaign I challenged myself to do something with a serious tone that would be very impactful on the audience. My second project featured in the portfolio is an animated banner ad campaign for Kirkland Almond Milk. These are ads that would appear on a website on the top or along the sides of a web page. This project focused on my animation and web design skills. I also demonstrated my ability to write short-form copy, which means written content that is very few words. On a website banner, you only have so much space to include words, and people also don't want to spend lots of time reading an ad, so I showed my ability to get the selling point across with just a few words. My third project is a Kleenex integrated ad campaign. For this one, I created a billboard mockup, print ad, social media ad, animated banner, and a merchandise mockup. This was a good project to include because it showed my ability to come up with creative concepts across all types of platforms, both printed and digital. My fourth project that I included was actually something that I completed for work when I worked on campus at Tuffy's Basic Needs Services Center. I thought it was important to not just include class projects in my portfolio because I wanted to demonstrate how I completed projects for an actual client. This was a handbill that I created to promote CalFresh, which is a service that helps students in need purchase food. I had a lot of information that needed to be covered in this handbill, so by creating this, I demonstrated my layout and typography skills. My fifth and final project that I chose to include in my portfolio is something that I also did for work. CSUF Care Services asked me to create a flyer to promote their new event, Helping Peers in Distress. What's unique about this project is that I also got to design a logo for the event, so this was another creative skill that I wanted to show employers. I also demonstrated my ability to write copy for a more serious topic. Once I had chosen which projects to include in my portfolio, step 2 was writing descriptions for each project. This gave me a chance to demonstrate my storytelling skills, which was another prominent skill on the job applications I was looking at. For example, here you can see the description I wrote for my ELF project. For each description, my mentor advised me to focus on telling the story of how I came up with the advertisement idea, instead of focusing on how I actually created the ads. In other words, my descriptions focused more on the creative planning process rather than the execution process. So on the example you see here, what I talked about in my description was how I did research on the ELF makeup brand and learned that they are 100% cruelty-free and don't test their products on any animals, unlike many other popular and even high-end makeup brands. I wanted to use this as a selling point, so you can see where I highlighted my tagline in a bold purple font, "Beauty Not Cruelty." Then I went on to talk about how I came up with the idea for the graphics of my print ads. I told the story of how I was sitting in my room one day and noticed that one of my fluffy makeup brushes reminded me of a rabbit's tail, so I got the idea to create animal imagery out of makeup products. This method of storytelling is something that I incorporated for the descriptions of all 5 of my projects included in this portfolio. So once I had chosen my projects, written the descriptions for them, and then laid everything out, my final step was making my PDF into an interactive PDF. This meant creating buttons that would do something when you clicked on them. Here are each of the interactive features I made. I made the page numbers on my table of contents clickable, so they would take you straight to that project page when you clicked on them. On each project page, I also added a tab at the bottom, and when you clicked on it, it would take you back to the table of contents. So some of my projects are animated, like the Kirkland banner ads you see here. But you can't view animations on a PDF, so what I did was create buttons that would redirect you to a web page, where you'll see the project in motion. Finally, on the last page of my portfolio, I added an interactive link to my website, which features all the other projects I made that weren't included in the PDF. So in summary, I created an interactive PDF portfolio that I will be using as I apply for jobs in the creative advertising industry. The portfolio includes 5 projects: print ads for ELF, animated banner ads for Kirkland, an integrated ad campaign for Kleenex, and a handbill and flyer that I created working on campus for Cal State Fullerton. It also features interactive buttons that make the portfolio more user-friendly for the viewer and demonstrate my experience with Adobe InDesign. Finally, I would like to thank my faculty mentor, Dr. Robert Meads. Not only did he guide me in creating this portfolio, but he was also my professor for the class where I created those first 3 ads that are included in my portfolio. I owe him for so many of the creative skills that I have today. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you.